Well, thanks. And another local pharmacy has closed one of its locations. Darling's Pharmacy on East Avenue in Erie Center for Arts and Technology is no longer in business.
And this comes as a lot of big box or chain pharmacies have announced store closures across the United States. Tonight, our Elspeth Meisner is joining us live from where one of the Darling's pharmacies used to be in Erie. Elspeth, what other local pharmacies have closed?
Mike, Neva, if you try coming down here to Darling's Pharmacy, you won't be able to. This is just another local pharmacy that's been added to the list of other places that have closed in recent years. We saw a pharmacy out in Albion close earlier in 2024, and just a few years ago, your hometown pharmacy in Wesleyville closed too. The goal of this location here on the east side was to provide a pharmacy for the community, and now they're right back to where they started. Chris Darling has been a pharmacist for almost 30 years, and he's owned pharmacies for nearly 20 of them. But with each passing year, he's gone from owning 9 to now 2. It's a trend that's happening across the country.
There's 9.3 pharmacies closing per day. That doesn't just include independents. That's Walgreens just had a big announcement about closures.
Darling says local pharmacies offer a personal connection to customers that not all chain stores can provide.
I recognize when Mrs. Jones comes in, and I may actually even know her medications, in my brain without having to look at her computer. And
although vital in all communities, pharmacies in rural communities hold extra importance.
And as we look across Pennsylvania, and especially northwestern Pennsylvania, there's that's what we are, right? We're a dotting of rural communities that have limited access at sometimes to these services.
Darling says even staying busy can't keep the doors of local pharmacies open.
It's frustrating because pharmacies aren't closing because of lack of business, right? We're as busy as can be. It doesn't make sense, a model that you can fill hundreds of prescriptions a day, but have to fill them at a loss.
He's worried what the future holds for local pharmacies like his.
Some will survive. Some will disappear, but we're past the tipping point at this point. Pharmacies that have been around for 50, 75, 100 years are closing their doors, not because they want to, but because there is no choice.
Now, what comes after this? Well, Darling says a lot of state and federal regulation and legislation is needed in order to help these local businesses and local pharmacies survive. He says there have been some bills that have made it through the state, but more work needs to be done. Live on East Avenue, Elspeth Meisner, Erie News Now.